welcome to another night of chess and psychology. Hopefully you're having a great time and another point of view. Go Fabi! Yeah, it's very important for me that Fabi wins. You know, I live in St. Louis, he's in St. Louis, he's the pride of, well, St. Louis Chess Club. So it's very important for us to, you know, see him win. And I still have his shirt from Go Fabi 2018, so I hope that I get to wear a new Go Fabi one. We need to get one for you too, right, Pish Pish? Pishy's joined as well, and I don't think he's exactly would fit in the shirt, but he's definitely looking into jumping up here. Alright, so from what I see, everything is set, sound good, board looks decent, I got my YouTube going. So, how's the viewers doing? Anybody has any favorite games? There has been some, it looks like it's a Dorsa, yeah it is, and there's a Pishy right down here too. He might grace us with his presence. And also I did something very weird today. I was trying to pick some games from candidates and then I somehow misread the results. But anyways, this was a great game. I really enjoyed it. It was the first one of this lag. So I'm sure most of you are aware of how the candidates kind of turned to be. You know, the whole tournament was going on last year and then COVID hit and then they had to cancel it. They decided to actually cancel it. I believe the players also asked it too, and yeah, Nepo is another great one. Yeah, if Fabi wasn't playing, Nepo would be, or MVL. Yeah, one of those two actually would be mine. Yeah, the game with the Alexienko's game was also kind of a. I was like, yes, Super Grandmasters also play weirdly sometimes. That was kind of a good one for me to watch. And yeah, there were so many great games. I had a lot of trouble choosing, but the one thing I knew I definitely wanted to do was talk about the candidates. So here we are. This game was very, very great. But before we start jumping into it, I do want to make a tiny announcement that after we're done with our YouTube session, we are going to switch to Twitch and analyze your games. So if you are playing a cool game, or if you already have a cool game already, make sure to be ready to join us in about an hour, a little over an hour, on Twitch and share your game. So that being said, hopefully you can start selecting games and time it a little better too, and yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about as well. Alright, hopefully the cat won't try to break free as last week. I don't know if you guys remember, last week he was very active, just like grabbing the door and meowing and jumping up and down, and right now he's being a good boy. But there's always the chance that he would want to go out and get some air. For those of you who are not in this area, yesterday was crazy, nuts. It was snowing out here. The day before that, the weather was so good, like I was sunbathing basically. And yesterday, it was snowing. Today, it's kind of a weird one too. I didn't really leave my room willingly. So, alright. You got the weather update, cat update. Let's go. So, this was actually a very great game. From what I remember after I was looking at the commentary and watched the interviews and everything, I believe this was this was Fabi's preparation. Then it was quite deep, so I really liked it. I'm a huge fan of preparation. It's an advantage. You should do it. If you know who you're playing, you definitely should prepare. You should prepare so much that you don't have to play with one single move. And I've done that a bunch of times myself. Yeah, not potentially not, you know, with a Super Grandmaster, but I'm huge fan of preparation. Alright, so we got a cool Najdorf going on. And so I want to get, for those of you who haven't watched this game, I want to get tiny votes in. What do you think Fabi chose after bishop g5? What line do you think he goes for? Um, Aura, that's not. No, it's just people talk. People talk. It's not even worth considering. It's just, yeah, no. um, is Sicilian defense good for a low-rated player? Um, yeah, honestly, I think it's a good choice to have. I wish I learned Sicilian much earlier in my life, because by the time I wanted to play it, I was already like 2300 and I was hunting my norms and there was so much pressure on it. So I think it is a good idea to kind of have that introduction to different openings from both white and black early on. And so you're not really like, you have this wide variety of choices, and I think that could be beneficial in the long run. All right, so thank you for expressing your opinion about what do you think Fabi did here. He went for f4. That's a good one. Generally with bishop g5, you kind of want to do long castle, in Najdorf. But there is no rule that says you can't, and you definitely have to do this long castle immediately. As we'll see in this game, that's not what happened. So he followed by f4, queen b6. Okay. It's been a while since I played this line, so it's, I want to get more opinions. I don't want to be the only one who kind of talks about what white should do, what white shouldn't do. But one thing is for sure, you gotta move this queen. Where should you go? Also, this queen b2 is something that is worth considering for black, because white's not really going to do something like this. It's possible, but you don't really know where this knight wants to go. It's not the best idea to move it immediately. I can definitely make the sound quality better. There is a little tangled wire here. As long as I move my laptop, the sound quality should be a tiny bit better. Okay. How is it now? A little better? Alright. Let's see, what else we got? So knight b3 possible, but not really necessary. I think queen d2 is the better choice to go. And let's see, what else we got? After queen queen d2, what do you guys think about queen taking on b2? Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting you have earbuds. Sorry, Ben. And Tracy and whoever else has earbuds in. Whoa, that was explosive. Recently, I keep waking up with sneeze because Pishi has been sleeping in my bed for about a month now, every night. And apparently, when I'm asleep, he likes to make a neck beard and sleep on my face. And yeah, I've been having to take more allergy pills. Yeah. Okay, so thank you. Yeah, taking is definitely possible, but to be fair, in a serious game, nobody has actually done this with me. But this queen b6, queen b2. Yeah, I mean there's nothing wrong with it, but it's at the same time you always think like, why would I go eat that pawn? It's such a hassle. Rook b1, queen a3, and it's so much preparation. Right? And that's what actually happened in the game. So now, I'm gonna ask you to tell me, what do you think black should do? Should black take this? Or do you think black can try and find another way to get some pieces out and find some activity? And yes, Pishi does mean cat. I literally named my cat Cat. He seems to like it. He's just really fluffy. Well, I mean, I have my iPad very close by because I'm reading the chat here, so that might be it, Alireza. My dad's name is Alireza. Alright. Okay, so right now you kind of, well, your knight's under attack, so you either have to take or you have to attack, or you don't really want to move this knight. That's not really, no. We don't want to do that. We don't want to have to move this knight. That's just, no. F5 is here, taking is another, no. So either you're gonna take this, or you could do a little like not necessarily improvise, a little like counterattack, I probably is the best way to say, with h6. Hey kitty, don't do that. And so h6, yeah, with h6 you're not going to take this because your king is still in the middle of the board, and then this is just gonna be pleasant for black. Now black is the one with advantage. Open files, open bishops, yeah. So after h6 you gotta move the bishop. Now in this game MVL decided to take, good choice, take, good choice, and knight d7. So what do we think about this position? To be honest, g5 is also a possibility, but knight d7 is the hot stuff in theory these days. Now, what do you think white should do? We still got a bunch of pieces to get out. To be fair, from it's my knowledge that this was already all preparation from Fabi's side, but nothing wrong with it having a strong prep. Kudos to him. Phil, me too. I do want to show the kitty, but right now he's preoccupied staring at a squirrel behind the window. He will join us sooner or later. He's not gonna stay too chill. He's kind of giving me these kind of stares like, open the door, I want to go out. I think I've accidentally conditioned him into whenever I'm sitting behind this desk, because it's so close to the door, he wants to go outside. Alright, great. I actually like this bishop c4 idea, but not at the moment. I do think that we need to get our pieces out, but bishop c4 is not the right way. The problem with bishop c4 is, well, he's also going to develop. Or what if I take here? Take here, knight e6 exists, and it could raise some complications. Cool complications. But I don't think this works. Our pieces are just not ready enough. And unfortunately, black is somehow surviving this, and we don't really, it's not the exact way we want to go about it. Bishop c4 would be good if like, for example, my bishop was just improving its position, not necessarily just because your bishop on c4 is not exactly attacking anything. So hi pish pish. So what about knight e4? How do we like knight going to e4? Alright, let's see, what else we got? Queen f4. I like this knight e4. So the thing with knight e4 is that I have serious threats. My first threat being you can't get your pieces out, so my first idea being that I am, first of all, for example, if you take knight takes e5, now what do you think our knight can do? Remember, we think that taking this d8 is a potential interest. Also, Robert Levy, I appreciate your opinion, but I don't accept it, I don't believe in it, and it's kind of hurtful. Everybody has different opinion on this matter, but it's just, I don't think, it's not true. If it is true, then my whole belief system in chess is not, it's kind of crooked. But I don't believe it's true. I've known Alexienko. He's such a great kid. I interviewed him like what was it, 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. Oh my god, I'm getting so old. But no. And I feel like another sneeze is coming up. Yeah, knight b5. Knight e6 is also interesting. Knight b5 I think is the best one though. You want to give checkmate over here and checkmate over here. No way to stop both of it. Good job. So after knight e4, what do you think is black's best move? Thank you everybody who found knight b5. Yeah, so no more knight e5. What do you think is black's best move? What do you think, Kitty? Never play f6. I kind of, that's maybe like 99% of time don't play f6, but yeah, basically it's a Yasser's move. Technically could be. Yasser would like this move. No, bishop b4 is just a free bishop. It wouldn't really help black's position. So two moves are worth considering. One of them is g5, because you kind of kick this bishop and you sever this connection to the d8 square. But g5 also has its problems, because now my knight on e4 is gonna be bombed. So g5 is not the way black would want to go. MVL simply took queen takes a2, and this position is equal, which is so weird because black has 2 extra pawns, white has so much activity, but the position is equal. So after queen takes a2, simple moves. Rook d1, my goal is to come poke you on the d8 square. Now black plays queen d5, poking you back, going after some of your weak pawns as well. And now, finally, what do you think white should do? This is another critical move. When I was watching this game, I had a little trouble finding this. Not trouble, more like it wasn't exactly my first choice. So what do you think this move should be? It's not a hard move, it's a very logical move. I'll give you guys maybe about 30 seconds. Try to think about what opponent wants, how can you activate some of your pieces that are not necessarily as well activated. No, right now careful, because your pawn and your knight are under attack. So you can't just play something like, you can't just like develop your bishop or your pawn. So, interesting. Okay, Imani, yeah, you're correct. Queen e3 first. Yeah, queen e3, you are defending this knight, you're opening up your rook, and you're also kind of like, it's not exactly that, but you're kind of like keeping like a half eye open on the king. I like that, yeah. So, now if knight takes e5, what do you think white's gonna do? White has a very strong move, which kind of leads to a super cool win right now. What do you think white's gonna do? You got the knight correct, but not knight e6. knight b3. Yeah, knight b3 is the best one. The problem with knight taking on e6 is simply check. And you still have your threat, but it kind of slows it down. You can't exactly play stuff like this because then bishop takes it and queen is defending the 8. No. Knight b5 is possible, but then he can take and just pick up the knight, and we don't want to really give up extra stuff. So knight b3. No queen a5 checks, no way for queen to defend d8 square, and the queen is going to drop. Alright. So now, what about queen takes e5? What do you think white should do now? For those of you who have seen this game, you might have an easier time choosing between these moves. But knight c6 for who? Oh, instead of knight b3, knight c6, I think the easiest way to look at it is queen could take the rook, you take back, and then he would just eat your knight. It is complex, I agree. We don't necessarily, I think bishop g3 is interesting, but your bishop is still very useful where it is, so we don't really need to move it. However, one other thing that we could consider is, okay, so we had a bunch of problem with this check, right? With this diagonal. So, so let's just close it up. Let's just close up this diagonal. Oh, hello, kitty. And your main instructor has arrived. Let me move the microphone around so he can sit somewhere. Ah, don't type on the laptop with your... Okay. Alrighty. We got the cat in the house. He was attention deprived. I didn't look at him for like 2 seconds. Alright, let's go ahead. So right now, c3 is a very nice move because you simply block this check possibilities. And now it's kind of clear white is eventually gonna do a short castle, right? So the question is, how are we going to, where should we put this bishop? Now, black plays bishop c5. It's not a serious threat. It's kind of, it's not like you're gonna take it because you dropped the queen. It's just like just pressure. Black is trying to develop. White is trying to do the same, and also keep in mind this f5 is something that could pop up. So it's time. We're not gonna be able to do anything on d8, so let's kick this queen away. And now what do you think we should do? This was a very, very cool move. What do you think white should do here? What do you think, Pish Pish? He is GMPC, isn't he? Certainly acts like one. Joins us in all these hard positions and leaves as soon as the position gets a little complex. Good job. So I have a suggestion for bishop c4. Why? How would bishop c4 work? What if he takes it? And again, if you by any chance have missed the live commentary, you can watch it again. You don't need to just watch this game from my side. So you are more than welcome to watch the official commentary that Yasser, Maurice, and Alejandro are doing. And if you need more languages, I'm sure you can find more of them on Twitch and anywhere basically, because this is the hot stuff that's happening in the chess world. basically for the year. So, alright, so bishop c4, what if queen takes it? Serious question. What would you do now? Exactly, bishop d6, good one. And to be fair, before bishop c4, you could have also considered bishop d6, if take, now knight b5, and go for this guy. However, yeah, chess 24 with Magnus's commentary is also amazing. However, this bishop c4 was a novelty, and so good for Fabi. And after take, in the game after take, bishop d6 happened. Yes, you can't really take it because it's bye-bye queen. Careful with that. You can't really move it. Let's say if you move it, that's not going to work for you. You can just move this bishop and simply start enjoying your checks. So you're a little busted. Now, in the game, black found the best move. What do you think is the best move for black? What do you think? No, well, technically, Imani, yes, but a 1900 played this line up until, instead of bishop c4, bishop d6 in 2013, so technically it wasn't a novelty until bishop c4, but in high level, yes. And I have cat hair in my coffee. Ugh. Peachy. No, taking care wouldn't also help, but I think it's interesting to mention. Now you can move the queen and simply queen g3, or even castling should be interesting enough. Because you can never actually castle, because I have that diagonal. So, I guess potentially yes, but... Does knight c6 work? No, because if right now knight c6, I'm just going to take it over here, take back, check. No, same thing, e5, I'm just going to take it over here. White has a simple threat. Knight f6, yes. Again, if you have seen this game, nothing wrong with that. You are more than welcome to help me as my TA and just throw in hints in the chat. Not necessarily say the best move, just throw hints and white wants this, black wants this, so white should do this to stop black wanting that. Stuff like that. Alright. Alright, so Pishi had a little snack. He's joining us again for this after a short break. After knight f6, what do you think we should do? We can definitely eat this, right? It's kind of free. But with what? What should we eat that poor guy with? Thank you, I am Pishi's TA at this point. Stardust's mama. Gorbe. Okay, good, good. We have a decision. Thank you. Taking with the knight is the best one. Yes, the taking with bishop doesn't exactly work, and there's no other move here after knight f6 that actually worth thinking about because you've given up a piece, so you need to actually start retrieving, either retrieving that piece or you have like a killer attack going. Unfortunately, you don't have a killer attack going, so the best you could do is get that piece back, control that diagonal, and enjoy your time. Nothing wrong with that. Alright, so after take on c5, knight d5, where should we place our queen? I think there are like two places that are definitely worth considering, but one of them can be eliminated quite fast. So where do you think we should go with the queen? So that's the thing. Going queen to g3 or d2, queen d2, no. The problem is that I can simply just get this knight out anywhere, and that's not gonna be very pleasant. That's not exactly what we want as white. We don't want my opponent to happily develop. The problem with queen g3 is that it looks good, but queen takes c3. Don't forget to think about what your opponent wants. And it's a much better endgame for black. He has extra pawns, and white doesn't have enough stuff to attack in that endgame. So where else can the queen go? We're kind of running out of squares. So queen e5. But the idea with queen e5 is still I'm attacking on g7. I'm still trying to hold my own and enjoy the position, but at the same time I don't want to exchange queens. So we got that going as well. So after queen e5, MVL is realizing that, okay, I gotta, stop eating pawns, because if I eat right here, king f2, and white can start to do like those fake castles, and that's not really going to be helpful for black's lack of development. And also g7 is falling. Right, Pish Pish? So after knight d5, queen e5, black made simple moves. You want to eat my pawn? I don't want you to eat my pawn. Fair enough. Now, this is another masterpiece here, so let's take a quick look at it. What do you think white should do? This is such a cool move. What, Pish Pish? Knight sacrifice. You guys got it. Yeah. I mean, if you remember and if you want to share, you're more than welcome to do so. Just do it subtly, like, hey guys, what do you think about those knights like working together? Something like that. Taking on e6 is the best one because honestly, if we could castle, I think we should try that, but at the moment that's impossible. And the other problem is that if I give black 2-3 moves, because this is right now white has dynamic advantage, black is just going to attack the queen. Now my queen got a move, then black would try to exchange queens, and black is not completely hopeless. It's just that I wish I had another, like, my pieces were a little bit more active, or like had a pawn here trying to attack, but because we don't, we only have 3 more pawns left, we have to be very careful with them. So knight takes e6. This is dynamic advantage. We need to go attack, 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 attack. Take back. Okay, we're gonna take that anyways. Now there's a question, does it matter which knight? A little bit, yes, because now there's this check, and let's say if you play king f2, take, you can't really take that anymore. The queen is, your queen is a little occupied, unfortunately. Does that make sense? Yeah, so we don't want to do that. Let's take with the correct knight, my queen defending over here, take, I take. If you try to be all cute and take it over here, which is what happened in the game, because if you don't do that, your position is a little in the pickle. I mean, you cannot take that. That's just checkmate waiting. Yeah, no. This is too hopeless for black. If you want any type of fighting chances, kitty, you should exchange these queens, and this is what happened in the game. Now, you gotta be careful because rook under attack, knight under attack. I already have given that knight is extra and another 2 pawns. So, what do we think? What do we think about Fabi's preparation? We do know that Fabi won this game, but what do we think about this position? Is this at the position we were hoping for? To be fair, I have had preparations myself where you prepare this like crazy line, and if like opponent finds every single best move, okay, they might end up with a tiny bit of advantage, or like a pawn extra, but it's like still very equal. It's not that I prepared for equalization, or I guess I prepared for an equal position. It's that if my opponent is qualified enough and smart enough and good enough chess player, then of course he or she can find a way to equalize the position. But even with that, it's gonna be such a mental strain and psychological battle, because it's like so much thinking about, okay, is my position surviving for my opponent? So yes, I think this was a good choice of preparation. Okay, knight c7, king f7, and now let's, please, for the love of God, let's move this rook. This is possible, but the king just runs, and when I start attacking it, there's this checks, and it's kind of, it falls out of balance. So that's why we just say, okay, rook d3, just do that. Now, if something like rook a7 to try to save the rook that's under attack, alright, I will be castling first. Oh, sorry, I guess I could actually castle this. King moves, and I can eat over here. This is another cool endgame. Black still has 2 extra pawn, but these pieces are not active, and I'm going to try and start poking your rook here and there, so it's going to be a long game. In the game, MVL just went for knight e4, chiquito. I agree, yeah, it was quite impressive that MVL found every move over the board, and even though he was out prepped, yeah, MVL is very good playing on his feet. Alright. Okay, king g6 is kind of a given. Finally, we gotta eat that bad boy. And now, what do we think? What do you think, White? What do you think about this position? Does White have advantage? This endgame was so cool / weird. I wish I had like more words to describe my feelings towards this endgame. But this was just one of those endgames that was, well, in chess, in order to win the game, you need a bunch of stuff. First of all, you need to, play good. Second of all, you need a generous opponent. And third of all, you need luck. And gladly, Fabi had all the 3 elements in this position, in this game, so good for him and me, since I'm Team Fabi. So, anyone likes Black's position right now? Feel free to speak up. I agree. Rook a7 just looked weird and very passive, but it would have been the best fight, yes. But I guess MVL wanted to find some activity, because all game he's been kind of just responding to Fabi's threats. So I'm assuming it's very mentally draining. So you don't want to fight like that. You don't want to just always be on your toes, waiting to see what opponent wants to do and just kind of respond to that. Alright, so right now what I see that's... So let's see, anyone? Suggestions? It is white to move. And I do agree, that knight gotta run. Let's get that knight rolling. Okay, rook d8, putting more pressure on this bad boy. What about this bad boy? Should I try to play like a rook d1 type of deal, or should I just take on c8? Oh, the cat sniffing. What do we think? Why are you whining? It's a good position, don't whine. In an attempt to make more room for my master cat. Iron Million, I intend to do as much as I can for the end game, but I don't want to go too much in depth because, first of all, the commentator did that. Second of all, I am also here to analyze your games after this one, and I don't want to take too much time away from that. That is true, Brian, I agree. I thought these pawns would make something cool happen. Anyways, take, you gotta take. And so it's just one of those weird positions. There's a rook versus a knight and two pawns. The more you can, as whites, the more activity you can have, the better. The more you can try to eat those pawns, the better. But there's a high risk of draw, so that's another thing that we should be cautious of. Hello, bish bish. Hi, baby boy. Alright, so what do you think white should do now? Do we care about this bishop? Should we move it? Should we make the cat sit down? Okay, Kitty, you are being a little weird. You want to just sit down? I'll massage you. Okay, let me put the iPad up so there's more room for His Majesty. Your Majesty, please sit down. Thank you. And let me move the microphone. I have a 2-year-old at home. Basically, yes. He's like, okay, Mama, I want to sit here. Please make room for me. Right, Pish Pish? And whatever His Majesty wants, His Majesty gets. And he's a big boy. Yeah, he is trying. He's kind of sitting on the mouse right now. So I apologize for any shortcomings on the chessboard from my end. Me too. We definitely should keep this bishop. Thank you for that comment. Yeah, bishop a3 is the best one. To be honest, something like maybe, that's the thing, like the bishop has to stay in this diagonal. If you try to go to f4, it's just out of balance. Bishop a3 is the best one. You could potentially try to move this rook, but it's too early. Oh, no, not there. It's too early. Yeah. Bishop a3. And now, in the game, Fabi did an amazing job here in the end game. Rook f4 is the best one. You need to keep your pieces active, and the knights are great in center, so we gotta kick him away. Right, Pish Pish? Yeah. Now we need to have this knight kicked out of center. There we go. And this move also was quite challenging for me for the first minute. What do you think white should do now? Trading rooks. Potentially, but in black's not gonna go for that. What about this bishop? Can I make this bishop be any better? Yeah, bishop b2. Thank you. Yes. It looks weird, but it works, I promise. Yeah. So now you are threatening and potentially eating over here. So MVL went knight e7. It's not. Yeah, Sydney, you're correct. Bishop b2 is trying to just weaken the pawn. Exactly. Good eye. And the idea with rook d6, I guess it's possible, but knight f5 kind of just stops that idea for the time being. It's possible, but I think the way trying to maybe push on the king-side pawns is a little bit better choice. Alright, so we push the pawns. What about g4? The problem is rook c6, and I don't really want to make my king too lonely. There's a question regarding bishop f8. Let me address it. Bishop f8. What if just king f7? Maybe take, and then check, king goes back, rook here. I guess this is okay. I guess king f7 not the first for the best choice. Well, what's your threat? To just take and give check? What if I just move my king away? Now if you take, I can just do knight h5. Right, pish? Yeah, I don't think this works, unfortunately. Well, actually, fortunately. Yeah, bishop f8 has a nice little trick, but no. Also, what if rook f7? Okay, check, king moves, and then you take. That's okay. I guess, but no, I mean bishop f8 is a tricky, but it's not the right move for the position. It's tricky in the sense that you want to go after the g7 pawn, but it wouldn't work. I mean, I guess if you're in maybe lower level, maybe. Okay, bishop b2. Let's get rid of that, and h4, h5, and here white is kind of going strong. But at the same time, it's a little scary because there's like still two pawns, two connected pass pawns. So, what do you think white should do here? What do you think white should go for? Can I try and eat anything delicious? Yeah, let's go after this guy. Black is not completely hopeless. Black, of course, has this little tricks to still try to fork me here and there. Okay, now I'm attacking the knight. The knight's gotta move. Check, up, take. So now we still have one pawn left as white, but it can be very tricky. Even if we eat a6, which we soon will, it's still not as winning as we would hope for it to be. There's still a lot of tricks that black can do. So, knight e5, check. And now, what do we think about this position? Is white better? It's very tricky, but is white better? What do you think, Bish? Do you think white's better? So white is better, but it needs a lot of skill and luck for white to be able to win this game. So we know Fabi has the skills, and since he won, we know that he also has the luck. So let's just see how it was done. And stop touching my mouse. Yeah, king g3. You gotta activate your king. You gotta try and still keep your opponents on his toes. Get the king activated. Lovely. Finally, we can eat this pawn. Alright, now I have made the mistake of drawing similar positions in my days, but Fabi's not me, so it's very important to actually be able to understand the ideas behind these moves. So for example, when so for example, when my chat stops working, there we go. Lovely. So what do you think? I kind of actually want to get a little opinion on what do you guys think is happening. And yeah, Fabi is amazing. That's why I'm rooting for him. And also the title of this cool stream being Go Fabi. Could have been Go Pishi, but what do you think? Okay, maybe bring in the rook, maybe. Okay, so people are considering pushing this pawn. I think yes, but a little too early. We want to keep that. We never know. So Nicholas, yeah, exactly. That's kind of the idea. If I could somehow trade that rook for the knight and the pawn, it's better for my pawn to, be all the way in the back. So king e4, okay, the knight getting cornered. Great for me. Now, the idea is clear. I want to keep my king in the center. I don't want your knight in the center or your king. And I'm eventually going to go rook g3 and push your king to corner as well. Okay, no problem. Knight out f5 is not a problem. But, now, trick question. Should I play g4 or not? No, I agreed, we shouldn't. This knight came from d6, so it probably wants to go back. And remember, in endgames, the idea of rook staying exactly in this position from the knight is golden. We want that. We want to push the knight away, push the knight away, push the knight away. Why not? Well, Ernesto, we don't want to rush with g4. We want g4 to be very well timed, because if I play g4, then even if I manage to somehow get exchange the rook and the knight and win your pawn, my pawn on g4 and your king on g6 and my king on f4 is a draw. The endgame would be, the pawn endgame would be a draw. Yep, rook d3 is better because now the knight gotta move. You can't move the king. The only piece you can do is the knight. And MVL made a mistake. He should have played knight to e7, followed it by trying to keep the knight somewhat active, and would have been a better defense. He played knight h6, which was wrong. Good for us. Chiquito, king move away. Now your knight can't really go anywhere, which is perfect. I'm just gonna play chill. Okay, your knight going even more backwards. Oh, great for me. King f5 was a slight inaccuracy. What do you think is better move for white here? What do you think is the best move for white here? Since that knight is so in a pickle. Actually, I kind of want to eat a pickle. Craving sour and salty stuff. Maybe because in the last few days I've been eating so much chocolate. I really should stop eating chocolate. Not forever, just tone it down. Rook h3, potentially. But what about going the other way? Or even c3. Or b3. Doesn't, I mean, like, going long, so I could kind of just do waiting moves. And the thing is that with these waiting moves, eventually black is gonna get busted, because let's say king g6, okay, I'll just go rook a5, knight c6, alright, I'm just gonna go backwards too, back rank too. Or I could even just play like rook d5. You can't really do knight e5s. Oh, well, taking here is still a little too early. This would still, because king is to go to g5 at the end. But that's kind of the idea. We want to have that. Like right now, if you were to be cute and move your king, I'll definitely take that. So, yeah, exactly. Anyways, in the game, Fabi didn't do that. He kind of rushed it with king f5, got check, got another check, but it's not the end of the world. He can still go ahead and kick that knight. Knight e7 was a mistake. Knight c7 would have been better to try and keep it a little more challenging. But with the knight on e7 now, rook c3 would be the best one to avoid knight c6. How about Fabi chose a different route and he went king f4 and did a little repeating, and now he chose another approach. Instead of going for something like rook a3 to go to the more freer side, he chose rook h3, but he still has a better position. Kitty, you gotta sit down, man. And now, what do you think, black, after knight king g6, what do you think we should do? You can see Peachy's ears. Kind of looks weird, but he's a lovely kitty shoe. What do you think? We need to stop black from entering, yeah. But not king. I mean, king f4 is definitely possible. However, playing something like rook a3 is much better, and that is what Fabi did. Now, in this game, MVL made a mistake with king f7. Knight e7 would have been better, but you see the problem is you never know where exactly to get that knight. I'm guessing the knight being on g5 is kind of the most comforting one, but then eventually this king is gonna move away and we would have king f5, so I don't think that's gonna be as pleasant anyways. So king f7, this game, most of it, I mean for the endgame portion, was just trying to find the best way to kind of poke the opponent. Nothing wrong with that, that's actually great. You're trying to break his spirit, his position, get your pieces in. Alright, so now what do you think white should do? We're almost done with this game, 5 more moves or so. King d5, not exactly. King f4, yes. So the king f5 is also a little too immature because simply check, and it's kind of like this, doing the same dance. So king f4. I'm gonna wait for you, see what you do. I might be able to do king f5. So here MVL played knight h6. Now this knight can only go back to g8. So let's do rook g3. When you play knight g8, now I have a cool killer move. What do you think is this cool killer move? It's a very cool move. Let me see. No, taking is not, no. If your king was on f5, yes, but it's not there. And you can't do king f5 now. But you have the right idea. How can I get my king closer to opponent's 6th rank? King f5, you just get checked, so you can't do that. What else, you guys? We tried bringing the king from the f file, failed. We tried to bring the king from the other side, failed. What about king bringing to the other side? And rook h3, just knight goes to e7. If you check, just the king goes up. Exactly, let's bring the king closer. King g4, amazing move by Fabi. And the thing is, if now you play like knight g8, then it's gonzo, because I take, and then I'll just come eat this guy, right? So you can't do that as black. So black tries to keep their knight active, but that's also a lost position. Now, knight f4 might be coming up, so we gotta stop that. And now what do we do? The king moved away, my king is in prime position. What do you think we should do now? Two more moves and black resigned. It is super winning now. Just have to figure out how to get to that f6 pawn. Push! Yes, let's push first. King g6. King g6, not exactly. I mean, I guess it's possible, but you can't really do that because the knight gets too damn close. So let's just play g4. No need to worry about any of these. King e5, king g6. There you go. You can't move the knight because I'll take that. You can't really do that because I'll just play king g7 and I'll rook f5 you. And and then I can just actually eat here, honestly, then push that. Yeah, that was such a beautiful game. And you guys kind of knew this strategy as soon as we got to one rook versus one rook, one pawn versus one knight, one pawn. You kind of knew that, okay, we should get this to pawn endgame. But it was kind of the matter of how that might have been challenging to some of us. And finding the most accurate moves are never easy. Even Fabi didn't find the super accurate moves in this game. Nobody can always play accurate moves. So that's why this game was actually one of my favorite ones, because it shows that you can make second best moves or not best moves here and there and still win the game. Chess is not just about finding the best moves all the time. You need some luck too. Alright, we are gonna take a short break, probably a little less than 10 minutes, and we will see you on Twitch. Have your games ready. We're gonna look at them on Lichess on our segment of Switch to Twitch. I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Make sure to show up to our Twitch channel, have your games ready, preferably on Lichess, to share with me. And for those of you who haven't really been in the chess world in the last few days, Candidates is going on and the chess club is doing official commentary, so tune in to watch those every morning. Well, actually kind of really early morning in the US, but so yeah, make sure to follow the event and I'll see you on Twitch shortly. If you have any questions, have it ready for our Twitch